Business on Purpose podcast.
The elephant was definitely sitting in the room, and awkwardness was the air of the moment. Hey, it's Scott Beebe with the Business on Purpose podcast. Time to be liberated from the chaos of working in your business and receive life. I had the opportunity to sit down, and a number of the businesses we work with have partnerships. You've heard me say before, I'm not a massive fan of a partnership. Not saying I'll never do one, but they're more challenging. Obviously, you want to go into a partnership because the value of each partner should bring exponential return. Otherwise, I don't know that there's a whole lot of value in a partnership outside of that. But these partners were sitting together, and there was an elephant in the room because we were talking about the organizational structure of this small business. Well, I had up there that there's a CEO or a managing partner. In every business, there has to be a CEO or managing partner, somebody who is the single point of accountability for the day-to-day function of the business. This is a non-owner position. Now, it doesn't mean that the owner cannot also be the CEO. In most cases, that is very much the case. But the reality is we need to know in a partnership setup, well, the slang question simply is, who's in charge around here? And we've got to be able to identify that. Without identifying that, it's like a team having no head coach. It's like a bus not having a driver. Where do we go when we've got questions about this thing that's moving down the highway? And so when you're dealing with partners, you've got to take time to have the awkward conversation. And in some cases it's not, but in most cases it's probably going to be a little awkward. The elephant is going to be sitting in the room, and that elephant's name is who's in charge. And you got to be able to sit down and have the conversation about it. Now, what's important and something that can dramatically help you in answering this question rather than just how you feel, what your opinion is, because emotion a lot of time can lead us down a path that gets us into trouble, both short and long term. Not saying it always does that, but it certainly can be flammable in moments. And in these sorts of moments, when you're having such a remarkably intense conversation around who's in charge, what can really, really help in this situation is knowing not only the vision, mission, values of the company, but also the actual job role of the CEO. What is a CEO supposed to do? And once you've got that job role out there, that role of a CEO, then you can begin to objectively walk through. Of course, we assume that you've got profiles on each of the partners as well. So you've got personality profiles, but which partner is better well suited to handle the burden and responsibility of that CEO role? So it's not a title. Who cares about titles? Especially in small business, nobody cares about titles. The reality is what I'm interested in is finding out who is the single point of accountability to make sure that the right things get done by the right people sitting in the right seats for the right time, going in the right direction with the right vision. And so if you've got a job role laid out for the CEO, it's not necessarily talking about the tactics, but a role saying, hey, the CEO will be responsible for the oversight of these things, for the accountability of these things, for the communication of these team members. And you say, hey, which of the partners is better well suited and quite frankly wants that burden? And once we start to look at that question in light of the job role, it may make that conversation just a little bit easier, maybe a little bit more palatable to have that conversation together as partners. And what you've done is you made a decision based on principle. You've made a decision based on foundation instead of based on the wisp of emotion. It's a great place for you to start. I would encourage you to sit down and the partners together draw out the role of the CEO. What is that one single point of accountability, regardless of who it is, need to be responsible for within the business? And in that, you can begin to eat that elephant in the room, one role at a time. And it'll be powerful. Now, of course, if you don't know where you're going, start with mybusinessonpurpose.com/vision. We will help you get there. It's our gift to you. And we'll see you next time right here on the Business on Purpose podcast.